Hey everybody. It is the very end of May. It's the day before Reed's birthday on 2011, and Emma and I are in the backyard. We came back for lunch. It's been really cold for the last few days, but today it got a little warmer and a little sunnier. And surprise, surprise, there's a little swarm right here by our bees. So I'm figuring one of my hives swarmed, which was a bit of a surprise. I have been keeping pretty good tabs on the numbers flying in and out, but the bees know what they're doing. So I'm going to attempt, without using a vacuum, because they landed in a really weird place. I mean, you know, what's a swarm landing down here on the ground for? Okay, we have to get these bees out of here. You don't belong here. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Yep. So I'm catching a swarm, and I'm going to give them a little honey to start with. A few frames in here. I can put this honey to the side. They'll go and eat it. I want them to build babies here and draw down comb there, so that's all good. But I'm going to try and gently pull these bees out of the ground. They seem to be lying on the ground as much as anything else, which is, you know, as I say, it's highly irregular bee behavior. It looks like this green stem is on top of the brown one, so I'm going to try and lift this one off first. I'm going to, gently as I can, lift these limbs off. It may be that they landed on this and it just sort of fell by the weight of the bees, because they do engorge. They fill themselves with a lot of honey nectar before they take flight. So I'm just going to try and lift everybody up together, and I think I'm going to put the hive even closer, since this feels like it's going to fall apart any second here. Hi, sweeties. Yep. You landed in a weird place. Let's see what we can do about you guys. Okay, it's all coming up together in one clump. Trying to avoid jerks and jangles. Oops, lost a few. It's this ivy problem. So, I'm just going to try and grab down here below a little bit and try and grab some of this English ivy, or this morning glory this year. It's trying to jerk as slowly and methodically as possible, and I'll just set them down in there, and ideally they'll just crawl off the limb and start occupying some of these frames. I'm on quite an angle here, so I'm hoping things don't slope much. The other thing I'm hoping is that I caught the queen in that first little go. That'd be really nice. There's a chance of that. Now I'm just trimming away at some of these other limbs that seem to have bees on them. Kind of increase their numbers a little bit. This looks like a good pull. He really did land on a most ridiculous sort of area. I'm pulling up English ivy as I go. I'm just going to lay these guys in there too. So now that's the bulk of the swarm right there, which is a good sign. I'll put the lid on here in a sec. Trying to find where this stem starts, somewhere near the ground. Nope. A few more bees. That's what I've got here. A bunch of bees on a rock. There's very few bees, and they're starting to walk towards the hive. So I'm going to turn the angle of the hive so that they can crawl in. Because they'll smell the queen, and they'll come on into her. Get my clippers out of there before I forget. And then all I need is something to buck up this side here.
If you scoot it,
What's that in?
There's a rock.
Just like that. And then I need like this hunk of wood here, a couple of rocks. I need to come to the outer edge though, because I do have. I'm just going to set this here temporarily, and I'm going to come back to something a little taller. I'm going to put the lid on it, so that at least have a feeling that it's a home. I'm only going to put in a little wedge in there just to make sure that the hive doesn't slip overnight.
Most bees like to land in trees, so on the ground is very unusual.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual where they landed. It was quite unusual. There we go. Leveling up and stay well, and those bees, Em and I will just watch them a little bit, see if they start to fly in. They're certainly, see how they're standing there on the front door and they're fanning themselves like crazy. They're emitting a pheromone out to the other bees that aren't inside, saying, "Queen's in here, come join us." So all the other workers will just join the swarm. Pretty small swarm, but you know, it's not the size of the swarm, it's the health of the queen and her daughters that makes all the difference. So, one more successful hive dropping.